retire as champion!
Hey everyone, gonna do a slightly different video today. Instead of an overarching kind of theme, general idea, we're gonna do a very specific instance of something that can be potentially helpful for your team. I want to take a quick look at the idea of a desperate defense grid using Sentry. The game playing in the background is one where we do end up losing, spoiler alert, but several times there was a chance that the enemy team could have wiped us and been able to secure the control point, and the teleporter in the background and several of the miniature turrets that she can set up were actually the difference maker in being able to get our team to get back and save the control point at the last second. It didn't work the third time, but it was able to put back two very strong pushes by the enemy team where they had to use pretty much all of their ultimates in order to try to capture the control point. One thing to watch in the initial part of this video is my sentry placement. I try to set the sentries in spots that will not be immediately visible to the attackers as they enter the room itself, and when they are forced to turn around and deal with them, they're forced to turn away from our respawn so that any players emerging from respawn can perhaps get the surprise of them because their backs are turned dealing with little sentry turrets. Another thing to watch in this video and to keep in mind when you have a Symmetra on defense on the last control point is that when her teleporter is up, more than likely it's in a spot that isn't going to be a huge advantage for you to teleport to. Perhaps she has one that's flanking the enemy, but more than likely it's in a spot that is only going to be beneficial when you guys are losing the control point, there's multiple enemies on the control point, and taking the teleporter is merely going to allow you to get that last little burst of potential effort from that final enemy push where they've used all their cooldowns and it's just a matter of man-to-man combat. If you can save the teleport charges for that last charge, essentially not take the teleporter unless you know that there's multiple enemies contesting the final control point. Save those charges, wait till you can be able to jump out and surprise them as a group at the end. I've taken to not taking the teleporter on the last control point unless I know for sure there's two players contesting, or the control point is more than 2/3 capped and there's at least one person actively capturing it. The more charges you have on your teleporter when you desperately actually need them to get a last minute save, the more chance you have to get your team back to the front as quickly as possible, get reset up, and be able to really turn back a huge push from the enemy team. You can see here in the desperation of the moment, I'm really just trying to get as many turrets down as possible because I know I have no time to set up in clever spots around the room. I really just have to try to get as many distractions to the enemy team, try to force them to look away from our guys coming out of respawn or coming out of the teleporter. Anytime you know your teleporter's down and your ultimate is charging, you want to try to maximize the amount of damage you can do. Be able to get your teleporter back up as quickly as possible. With at least 2 or 3 turrets shooting, you actually get up to 10% charge just with 3 turrets shooting almost instantly. And again, we do end up losing this game, which is a shame because the ability for the teleporter to really get your team back isn't highlighted as much as it possibly could be, but it does do the job for 2 major attacks. Attacks where the enemy had to use every single cooldown to try to slow us down. I think this video highlights that even in defeat, you can really go back and analyze some of the mistakes and some of the positive things that every little action you make can contribute to your team. I hope you guys learned something today and continue to have fun in open beta. Good luck out there, guys.